Let's talk about multi-carrier shipping software. How do you choose the best tool for your e-commerce fulfillment? Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sturdy Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about multi-carrier shipping software. How do you choose the best tool for your e-commerce fulfillment? This is an important element, okay? And we have covered this topic on other shows. So if you want to learn more about this topic, after watching this show, you want to go and watch other shows. For example, we have Amazon FBA versus ShipBob versus ShipHero versus RedStack Fulfillment. We also have Odoro versus ShipStation versus Shipping Easy versus Endicia. And then we have ShipStations versus Shippo versus EasyShip versus PirateShip versus Sendle. So those are players in the e-commerce fulfillment space. First, you want to pay attention to integrations. So if you want to choose the right shipping software, multi-carrier shipping software for your online business, you want to pay attention to the integrations. This is so important. So you want to think about carriers, services, and procurements, because the core of any great multi-carrier shipping software, especially when it comes to parcel solution management, is a vast constellation of carriers and services that users can choose from. Okay, note that the word carrier here does not always fit the description that people have about that word. Many local branches of global carriers operate as separate entities, each with their own labeling and IT departments. So you want to always verify that a vendor supports the specific carrier services in your key geographies. Very important. Big decision time. Big decision time. I want you to talk to me right now about the kind of integrations you will love in your multi-carrier shipping software. Talk to me about that. Are you looking for a SaaS software and cloud hosting process? In other words, do you want the ability to ship parcels via an application hosted in the cloud, connected to your existing systems via an API or integration? Because this SaaS software will basically offer increased flexibility and improved data safety over typical on-premise installations of shipping software. Are you looking for front-end integrations with your e-commerce software or platforms? Because availability of an off-the-shelf integration partnership with your current e-commerce systems and platforms partners can be also great, especially if you're trying to have a multi-channel sales process. In other words, you are selling on Amazon, on Etsy, on Shopify, and so on and so forth. Are you looking for back-end connectivity? Because are you looking for the availability of an off-the-shelf integration or partnership for your current back-end systems, such as your WMS, your OMS, or ERP? And are you looking for API structure and documentation processes? One thing I want to say here is that you want to make sure that multi-carrier software that you are choosing can be integrated into other systems via an API, and the level of support in this process must also be managed on a day-by-day basis. So that's for integrations. And I want you to pay attention to operations. Very important. In other words, if your goal is to choose multi-carrier shipping software, you want to pay attention to the operational side of things, because carrier library size and system connectivity are both quintessential when it comes to having a good multi-carrier shipping software. Okay, and one thing you need to understand is that this integration, this operational integration, will help you to scale down the road. So you want to pay attention to labeling, documentation, and EDI. This is really, really important. Okay, because the output of shipping documentation by the system, is this the only shipping labels, or is this the only shipping label, or do they have also customs forms or end-to-day or end-of-day manifests? What I'm trying to say here is that you want to make sure that the documentation that gets out of the shipping software is compliant with the regulatory schemes, whatever you are shipping to. If you are in multiple countries, you want to make sure that the multi-carrier shipping software is adapted to local regulations. Also think about business ruling. So a business ruling engine that automatically looks at the landscape of shipments that you have during the day and will book shipments with best fit carriers based on business rules. Okay, very important. What about consolidation of cross-border shipments? I was just talking to you earlier about if you have international shipments. If you have international shipments, you better have a clear idea of how you're going to structure things so that you're able to comply with rules in multiple countries. Okay, so the consolidation of cross-border shipments is very important. What is that? Here we are speaking about the ability to consolidate cross-border shipments that go into the same geographic area. Okay, so let's say you have 100 customers that are buying in the UK, and but you have inventory in multiple places in the United States. How do you make sure that those are being consolidated? They're taken from different warehouses, different fulfillment centers, and they are consolidated before being shipped to the UK. Very important. So by skipping zones and avoiding ancillary charges, this consolidation of cross-border shipments can significantly reduce costs for cross-border processing, brokerage, and insurance. This is very important. Now, you might be thinking this is not important for me at this time. Well, you probably have a small online store right now, okay? But as you scale, as you become bigger, those will be very important, especially if you have clientele that is abroad. Let's say you're selling in Europe, in Africa, in Latin America, and Asia. Then you need to have this sort of consolidation of cross-border shipment process in place. You also want to make sure, and this is really important now, you want to make sure that the multi-carrier shipping software that you buy has real-time performance analysis and rerouting. Let me repeat that. Real-time performance analysis and rerouting. This is important. What does that mean? Basically, you want to have the ability to compare selected carrier services versus actual carrier performance in order to find routing alternatives with lower cost implications and or faster delivery times. And this is kind of cool, especially during the holiday season. So if you are in a business right now where you have to face seasonality and cyclicality, you want to constantly, and you want to do this in real-time basis, you want to constantly find the best routes, which means that you need to constantly reroute shipments, but it has to be done in a flexible manner, and it has to be done in such a way that you don't end up paying a lot in cost. Okay, very important. Now let me ask you a question. Big decision time. Right now, where are you in your I would say in your buyer journey in terms of acquiring a multi-carrier shipping software tool? Are you like pretty close to 8, with 10 being like, oh, I'm ready, and 0 being, I'm just chilling right now? Are you 8 or are you 5? Because this is important, because you need to start drawing a plan. You need to start writing down the things that really matter to you before even talking to multi-carrier shipping software providers. Because if you have a clearer a plan that tells you exactly what you need based on your audience, based on the products you sell, the conversation with the software providers will be a lot easier. And you also want to pay attention to automatic address verification. So here you want to have the ability to verify addresses upfront to prevent costly missed deliveries, right? This is important. Again, when we are thinking about either you want to be a national player, national seller, you sell in the United States, or you sell in the whole world, you want to make sure that you are able to verify addresses automatically. You also want to pay attention to the service speed, okay, the response time of the API or service when booking shipments and generating shipping documentation. So those are really important criteria to pay attention to on the operational side, okay? I've told you already what you need to pay attention to on the integration side. Now you have a clear idea of what you should pay attention to on the operational side. So we have labeling, documentation and EDI, business ruling, consolidation of cross-border shipments, real-time performance analysis and rerouting, automatic address verification, and service speed. Very important. Number 3, you want to pay attention to the dashboard, folks. This is important. If you want to choose multi-carrier software tools that are in sync with your business needs, you better have a software tool that has an user interface that is friendly to the user, of course, that is easy to use, that is convenient, that is clear, that is nicely designed. I'm talking to you about the dashboard. This is important, okay? And one thing you need to understand is that from a shipper's perspective, most of the job seems done when the parcels leave your warehouse, right? But for your customers, this marks just the beginning. So the ability to keep your customers and your customers care team updated on all shipments in real time is therefore essential. So you want to have a system in place that does tracking and dashboarding as easily as possible. So you want to have a real-time track and trace notification. The TNT notifications are quintessential. Really, this is very important. So you want to be able to see what's going on with your products, and especially if you're trying to have a branded shipping on a TNT basis, you want to be very clear about making sure that you have the real-time track and trace notifications. You also want to have the real-time track and trace portal. So this is a branded website or portal with via which your customers can track and trace shipments in real time instead of visiting individual carriers tracking website. Right? Instead of sending them to help me out here. I'm blanking here. To FedEx, to UPS, or to USPS or DHL's website, you basically can have access to a branded website through the multi-carrier shipping software tool, whereby your clients will see your logo, your clients will see your company, they will see everything, and you can also give them the tracking number. This is a powerful branding opportunity. Okay, you also want to think about handling of exceptions, and normally this should be seen in the dashboard. The dashboard should be very clear in terms of the modules and the settings that can help you handle, first of all, see the exceptions that have been raised and how to handle them. So you need to have a proactive signaling of delivery exceptions. For example, it can be delays or rerouting, for example. You also need to think about customer service tools. Okay, so real-time shipping insights into shipments via all carriers, allowing customer service teams to proactively take action in the case of exception events. This is important now. Let me ask you a question. Big decision time again. Big decision time. Do you currently have a dashboard? I mean, a multi-carrier shipping software. And what does the dashboard look like? What does the dashboard look like? You want to put in the comment sections below and tell us more about that part of the software. If your goal is to choose the best multi-carrier shipping software this year, you want to pay attention to reporting. Okay, so when we talk about reporting, we are speaking about the constellation of features, modules, and settings that will help you not only have a clear idea of the inventory moving in and out of your e-commerce business, but also the profitability that you are generating from such an operation. This is really important. Okay, so we are looking at several things. We have reporting and finance. So you're able to find data that help you make an informed business decision. You want to look at delivery and carrier performance analysis. So you have the ability to monitor the delivery performance per carrier, warehouse, or geography. This is important because if you're able to evaluate this trifecta, the trifecta being carrier, fulfillment center, and geography, you're able to pinpoint very soon where you're losing money and where you are making money. This is basically what it is, because a lot of online entrepreneurs, they pay attention so much on the customer, they forget about the back office. This is where you might be losing money. I said before earlier that you might be thinking everything is fine, is done and done when the items leave the warehouse. But for your customers, this is just the beginning. And the whole thing is you must make sure that they get the products in good condition. So pay attention to delivery and carrier performance analysis. You also need to have invoice matching. So automated auditing of invoices to identify and adjust improperly invoiced items based on contracted rates, claims, and not shipped transactions. You also need to think about advanced reporting and accounting. So with the advanced reporting and 3-tier accounting features, you should be able to track accounts by creating specific accounting tiers, providing flexibility to report changes and monitor shipping activity. This is important. Also think about multiple carrier and LTL options. So this is a tool in any multi-carrier shipping software that allows you to see all the necessary information to process a small parcel or LTL shipment. And this basically reduces carrier shipping charges with true rate shopping. Okay, so here is the bottom line. If you want to buy multi-carrier shipping software, here are some key features I want you to pay attention to. Very important. Discounted LTL rates. multiple carrier rate shopping, comprehensive management reports, unlimited users. The software must be able to print shipping labels, must cover domestic and international options, must have a touch screen enabled, real-time data exchange, must integrate very well to your ERP or CRM systems, and must have address validation. Very important. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about e-commerce fulfillment, and we are specifically talking about how to choose multi-carrier shipping software. And you want to pay attention to the I've given you the steps you need to follow in terms of getting the right software. But let me give you a general conversation here. Let me share with you a general conversation. The thing here is that we live in a world right now where people and entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs, are moving away from carrier supplied platforms to multi-carrier shipping software. So in order to begin a multi-carrier strategy, you need to move away from carrier supplied platforms. I'm not telling you to take your business from USPS, UPS, FedEx, or DHL, among others. I'm not saying stop doing business with them. I'm just saying you need to start thinking strategically about where you want your business, your online business that is, to be in 5 years, in 10 years. Talk to me about the future. Talk to me about your scalability plans, your sustainability plans, okay? One thing you need to understand is that there is no question that single carrier systems are well designed for the carrier they represent. This is their brand. Okay, so the website, everything is done based on the interest of the brand. Let me give you an example. If you ship your products through UPS system, everything is designed to represent and further the interest of UPS and only UPS. Now they might be telling you this is also for our clients, blah, 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 but no, this is for UPS first and foremost. So each carrier, for example, will insist on applying rigorous and unique labeling and electronic communication requirements, which make it possible for the carrier to move parcels through its network. And in the case of UPS, they will do it too. And USPS does the same thing, FedEx does the same thing, okay? What I'm trying to say here is that if you're able to move away from carrier supply platforms, then you have flexibility. If you are an online entrepreneur who prefers to ship your parcels with a specific carrier, then it's fine. But if you want flexibility, then you want to choose multi-carrier shipping software that will allow you to get access to a larger constellation of shipping carriers. Okay, and you can make money, you can save money rather, by comparing rates, by comparing delivery routes, by comparing by making sure that you are reducing human errors to the minimum. No, you are reducing as much as possible. Okay, and you also want to reduce, for example, delivery delays, lost packages, extra cost, or the inability to use particular services. Let me talk to you about the benefits of multi-carrier shipping software tools. Yeah, they do have a lot of benefits. And so you have faster delivery times. This is important. You can track orders efficiently. The software tool will integrate easily with your supply chain. Make sure it does. Most shipping software, multiple carrier shipping software, integrate very well with supply chains resources. You are able to minimize human errors. This is important, especially like I said. If you have a small business, you might not see it. You might be thinking, well, I'm only selling 10 products a month or 50 products a month or 100 products a month, so I really don't have any human error problem. But once you scale to 1,000 products a month, you're selling 5,000, 10,000, then there comes the need to automate things. There comes the need to look at things from a different perspective. Another benefit that we love with multi-carrier shipping software is that it eases international shipping. Because we live in a world where things are interconnected. You look at the global marketplace as a giant marketplace. So if you have clients in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, in in Australia, for instance, you want to make sure that you have multi-carrier shipping software that allows you to ship internationally, but also has the proper shipping labels. Very important. And you also get multi-carrier support. So if you're shipping through a single source, you don't have to call 4 or 5. You don't have to call FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL for answers. You don't have time. You have a business to run. So it's great to outsource the whole thing to one entity, and have them figure it out. And you're able to automate things. You have the automation potential once you choose the multi-carrier shipping software tool. This is really important. So the end goal of any shipper, any online entrepreneur, is to deliver products to customers on time, without damage, at minimal cost, and in the most efficient manner possible, right? This is what it is. You basically want to make sure that you are retaining clients over time, that you're able to save money, you're able to beat the competition, and you're able to be in the best situation, the best context to move forward with your business so that you can scale. All right, folks, this is the end of today's conversation. Let me recap here. So in today's conversation, I was talking to you very quickly about how to choose multi-carrier shipping software. Number one, pay attention to the integrations. Very important. Number two, you want to pay attention to the operational context that you're in. Number three, think about the dashboard. Make sure it is user-friendly, it is intuitive. Number four, think about the reporting aspect of things. We're speaking here about financial reporting, inventory management and reporting, multiple carrier and LTL options. You want to think about advanced reporting, all that kind of stuff. All right. And just to actually close to this conversation, I gave you an overview of the whole discussion about multi-carrier shipping software, and I gave you the benefits of such software. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.